so one of the issues that we have with having a house on wheels is that when we're in transit or we're moving, everything moves and shifts and vibrates. So what we have to do when we're getting ready to move again and get ready to take off is we have to make sure everything is secure. So we go through, we start in the back. All the drawers are actually locking, so you actually have to lift them up. They won't just slide out. And then all of the cabinets, they have latches on them. So there's a friction lock there, so that keeps everything in the cabinets tight. So we just go through, and then if you look down here, you can see how the books all are secured. They have a little cage, and then they have a secondary cargo net which keeps them secure in there. The kids have their shoes there. My wife has gone through and add what's called these tensioning rods, and those keep drawers closed. You'll see those in various places. We also have those under our bed, and that's just to keep stuff from moving around. So my wife has gone through and she's tightened everything down and gone through this entire room. So this is all good. The bathroom is good. There's another area in here. We keep a lot of stuff in the bathtub, and that stays secure in there. So that's secure. That's the way that is. This actually has a screw in it, so that stays put. And then trash can has a bungee cord around it. We do keep a pan in here, and that hasn't proved to be any issue. Make sure nothing's on the countertop. Everything is secure. So next is the process of taking the table down and securing it. This is a folding table that we custom made. Took a plastic top table, took the top off, and made this out of a piece of 3/4 plywood. So we add these pool noodles, is actually what they are, but we use them as little spacers to stop any vibration. Then we have little pieces of rope that we tie up the legs so the legs don't fall down when we set it down like this. Push it into the corner, and then we ratchet strap it down so that it stays under constant friction. You guys saw us put away the table earlier, and that's how that goes. Sometimes we'll find the cushions over there, we'll find them, they've slid off, but it's not an issue. It's not anything that's going to get damaged. Each and every one of the blinds have a little tab right here that holds them tight so they don't shake around. So everything has to be secure. All of the books in the bookshelf. So the bookcase, this has rods in it that have a little key lock system where these rods can slide in and out. And if we want to take a book out, and then we just put that back in, and that holds the books. They can slide, and sometimes they'll come forward a little bit, but they won't come out as long as there's enough books in there. If they can't get sideways and come out. So those have been working out good. All that stuff has stayed in place. We also have in the master bedroom, the guitar usually stands over here off to the side. Right now that we're in transit, that's where its home is. And then my wife has this little, she calls it her nightstand, and that has a bungee cord that holds it up against the wall with some foam to protect the wall. And then, you know, the bed's pretty secure. We do roll up this carpet because that's where the slide out goes. Normally that carpet stays right in the center of the RV in the kitchen area. So that's it. It's all secure. It's ready to go. You can see the TVs also. The TVs have these bungee cords on them with the pads. There's also pads behind them just to hold them tight so they don't move. This particular item has been screwed to the wall. This is all fastened down. But everything has to be fastened down. There's a sliding door here. This has little bungees on it so it can't go anywhere. My wife's gone through here. All these have their own individual locks on them so they don't open. And then she places little blockers there so stuff doesn't hit the glass. And that's ready to rock and roll. This portion of audio had very poor sound quality due to wind noise, so I am doing a voiceover for this. Basically, we're taking off the locks. The locks normally hold the propane tanks as well as the tow chains, well, we are stationary, so we release the tow chains that need to be hooked up to the truck, and then we remove the ball lock. That's this little gold lock that I just took off, and that locks onto the ball so the trailer can't pop off. The next thing that needs to come off is this hitch lock, and this is basically an anti-theft device. All of these little actions here are to make it harder for somebody to just pull up to the trailer in case we're not at the trailer and take off with it. So we put the lock away in its designated location. Step after we get the locks all off is we have to raise the hitch level because the truck is higher, so it won't hook up. So we're going to take down all 6 of the stabilizing jacks. Now these jacks don't get raised up to hold weight, they just basically keep tension so that when we're moving around in the trailer and using the trailer, that it's stable in there, or more stable. You're always going to have some flexibility because a lot of the weight is on the tires, and the tires have give in them, so you do have a little bit of sponginess. I'll show you the X chocks, which take a lot of that movement out, but the next step is to take out the 6 stabilizing jacks. So this is how we do that. I like to keep a block of wood under there so when it rains the metal foot is not in the water. So we just keep one of these for each jack. Alrighty, so the next step after we get the stabilizers up is to actually hook up to the truck. So we're going to have to lift the hitch side up, but come over here, I want to show you guys these X chocks. So there's this is basically a wheel chock which keeps the trailer from rolling, going up, going downhill, and you never take these off till you're hooked up to the truck. So the truck is your brake system, so you don't want to release this until you're hooked up to the truck. So we finished the walkthrough in the truck. We just closed up the doors and secure it. It has this little latching mechanism back here, so that if you want to use the screen door, you can use the screen door, and this door doesn't blow around in the wind, so that secures that. So we just reattach the screen door to this with that little latch, and we lock it all up. Put the stairs away. Can't go rolling down the street with the stairs up. Okay. So you want to take the foot or this bottom piece up as high as possible so that when you're going down the road, it doesn't hit anything. Okay, so then we lock the ball on, and then we hook the chains up. Your chains are supposed to crisscross. Sometimes the chains are separated, but you want them to crisscross, and you definitely don't want them to be dragging. So there's the chains hooked up. This is the breakaway cable. So in case the trailer were to get unhooked somehow, the brakes would activate on the trailer and it wouldn't keep going down the road as fast. So we just hook that up. So this carabiner right there, and then we hook up our light hookup. Controls the turn signals, the brakes, and the running lights, as well as the brakes, trailer brakes. So we put that in. Okay, the next thing we have here, these are the sway control bars. So these help a lot when tractor trailer's coming past you, because you get a side push, you get a side wind, or if the winds are high, like when we were going through Oklahoma and upper Texas, we were getting a bunch of crosswinds and it was pushing the trailer and making the back end of the truck move a lot. So this stabilizes it. This stops it from continually swaying and basically gives you more control. So it Put these on.
This one goes over here. But that one's gotta go over there.
Alright, so this just locks these on. So when we took them off, we took all the friction off so they'll move in and out. So now we add more friction. You can see it says on that way. You kind of go until you start to feel it tight, and then you go about one more full turn. So that's usually pretty good. And just make sure your pins are on. Alright, so one thing I've noticed, if you try and tighten this without the pins in, you just knock it off. So you put the pins in first, and then you tighten the sway bars up. Alright, that should be good. Double check these propane tanks, make sure they're secure. Feel good. Alright. So now that we're all secure to the truck, we just take off these X chocks. They're a lot like the scissor jack, where they just have a bolt that when they have opposing pressure, it just forces pressure out. So you don't have to loosen them all the way. And that just keeps those. Alright, now we're going to take off the other X shock. You don't want to ever do this. I've probably said this 3 times now, but it's very important not to do this until you're hooked up to the truck. So that takes that off. And then we also have these. This is a leveling chock system. So when we first got here, we put the level on the back bumper to see which side was higher or lower actually. This side was lower. So what we do is we place these little wedges, this part here. This goes under the tire as far as you can put it, and then we pull forward, and usually my wife watches the level on the back, and as it goes forward, this side will rise. So this is what it looked like, and this is what we needed to get to be level from side to side. Okay, so sometimes we have these secondary chocks because once they're on this, it's kind of like a ramp, and it's going to want to naturally roll backwards. So these lock it in place. These secondary black chocks that we have here, sometimes the truck will have enough tension on it that these will just come right out. But what we're going to have to do is pull the truck up a little bit to take these out, and then once the black ones are out, we're going to pull backwards to release the red ones. Alright, so now we've got the black ones out, and then we reversed, and now the red ones are loose. So once they're loose, they just come out like that. And they're ready to go. Alright, so we just checked the running lights, the brake lights, and the turn signals to make sure those work, you know, for other people that are around us on the road, so they know what we're doing with this huge thing when we start changing lanes and braking and all that. Then the next thing we do, and the last thing we do before we take off, is just basically check under the trailer and the truck and just make sure everything is clear, that we haven't left anything under there, that nobody's under there, all that kind of good stuff. This is the conclusion of this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.